Welcome to the Explainer. What can a single day really tell us about the future of money? Well, today we're going to freeze time, just take a 24-hour snapshot of the financial world, and what it reveals is this massive convergence that's happening way faster than you might think. I mean, really, what does a normal day in finance even look like anymore? It's a great question, right? We're going to find out by looking at the events of just one day, and you'll see how the lines between traditional finance and the world of crypto, well, they're basically disappearing for good. Okay, so first up, let's talk about crypto's mainstream moment. The old guard of finance, they're not just watching from the sidelines anymore. Oh no, they are actively stepping onto the field. And our first piece of evidence? It comes from a name that is absolutely synonymous with traditional investing. And look, this isn't some tiny niche startup we're talking about. This is a titan of traditional investing, a bedrock of the establishment. And on this one day, they made a move that basically screams that the walls between old money and new money, they're just crumbling down. So that naturally leads us here. Wall Street is finally opening its doors. This mainstream interest isn't just talk anymore. It's turning into real, tangible action, creating these brand new gateways for millions and millions of everyday investors. And here we go, Charles Schwab. Now, what's really key here is the structure of this thing. They're not just dabbling as an investor, they're launching a dedicated service called Schwab Crypto. What you're seeing here is them literally building a formal, regulated bridge to bring their huge client base directly to Bitcoin and Ethereum. So here's the bottom line, the really crucial point. This single move, it dramatically lowers the barrier to entry. It makes crypto accessible to a whole new wave of investors, people who trust the Schwab brand, who are already comfortable with its platform. You have to remember, accessibility, that is the absolute key to adoption. But this whole convergence story, it goes way deeper than just investing. We're now talking about the new money highway. While all the headlines are focused on prices going up and down, the actual plumbing of the financial system, how money moves from point A to point B, that is undergoing a quiet revolution. For decades, this has been the backbone, the automated clearinghouse, or the ACH network. This is the system banks use for everything, like your direct deposit paycheck or your automatic bill payments. It's reliable, it's been around forever, and, well, it's facing some serious competition. And wow, this slide right here really shows you the scale of that competition. Just look at these numbers from this past February. For the very first time, the transaction volume on stablecoin networks hit $7.2 billion. That's billion with a B. And it surpassed the $6.8 billion processed by the entire legacy ACH network. I mean, think about that. This is a monumental shift. And just to be clear, this isn't some future prediction. This isn't a forecast. We're talking about massive utility happening right now. Digital dollars are being used as a real-world settlement layer, proving they can be way more efficient than the old systems for a huge volume of transactions. All right, so this convergence story isn't just about the big household names like Bitcoin and Ethereum. It's also happening out on the newer, more experimental frontiers of the digital asset space. Which kind of begs the question, right? How do professional investors even get access to these newer, more niche crypto assets? I mean, if you're a big pension fund or a hedge fund, you can't just go create an account on some new exchange. You need regulated, familiar products. And that's exactly where companies like Grayscale step in. And sure enough, on this very same day, we see it happening in real time. Grayscale is moving to create a regulated investment product for a newer asset. This one's called the Bittensor TAO token, and it's linked to decentralized AI. Essentially, they're building a professional on-ramp for all that institutional money to access these new frontiers. And here's the playbook, plain and simple. Step 1, you find a promising new asset. Step 2, you wrap it up in a nice, regulated trust structure. And Step 3, you offer it as a simple, passively managed product. This 3-step process, this is literally how the Wild West of crypto gets tamed and professionalized for Wall Street to consume. Okay, so with all this institutional money pouring in and all these transactions zipping around, what does the actual market look like on this quote-unquote normal day? Is everything all calm and orderly now? Not exactly. At the top of the market, you have exactly what the big institutions want to see. Look at this. Bitcoin is basically flat. Ethereum is down less than 0.5%. It looks stable, almost boring, kind of like a mature asset class is supposed to look. But at the exact same time, on the very same day, in some other corner of the market, a much smaller, lesser-known token, is up over 43%. This is the other side of the coin, right? You've got explosive, high-risk volatility happening in parallel with all that stability from the majors. And this slide just captures that dual personality of the market perfectly today. On one side, you have the slow and steady majors, and they're starting to behave like blue-chip stocks. But on the other side, you've got the wild and unpredictable fringes, which, let's be honest, still operate a lot like a high-stakes casino. And the crazy part is, both of these realities exist side by side in the very same ecosystem. So, what's the big takeaway from this single 24-hour snapshot? It's undeniable. The worlds of traditional finance and the digital economy, they're not just intersecting anymore. They are converging into a single, incredibly complex system. And that leaves us with the critical question. As this great convergence picks up speed, how is it ultimately going to reshape our entire financial world?